Hi, in this video I would like to briefly introduce you to the operation of the SPX 0DTE dashboard. Let's first look at the structure of the application. On the right side you can see an embedded TradingView chart which shows the SPX movement in 15-minute resolution for the given period. On the right side of the chart you can see two different metrics. The first metric is the NetGEX. The NetGEX is the value of net gamma exposure, and it should be interpreted if the call gamma exposure at a given strike is higher than the put gamma, then the given strike has a positive GEX value, so a green bar appears, and there is call dominance at the given strike. If the put option gamma exposure value is higher, then the net GEX value is negative, that is put dominance. And in this case, as you can see here too, a red column appears at the given strike. The second metric is option volume. If the column's value is green, it indicates that the call option volume at the given strike is higher than the put option volume, meaning there is call dominance in terms of volume. If the column is red, the put option volume at the respective strike is higher. Like the call options, so at a given strike, there is put dominance. These data are always for same-day options, and this information is updated every minute. This horizontal blue line is the HVL, which means the high volatility level. If the market is above the high volatility level, there is call dominance and positive GEX range. If below, then put dominance and negative GEX range. Let's now look at what we see on the left side. On the left side, we see option spreads grouped into bullish, bearish, and neutral orientations. In the bullish, we can find butterflies, bull call spreads, and bull put spreads, and you can modify their settings. You can do this by clicking on the show height filter. Here you can select which strategy you want to see. For example, if only butterflies, then I uncheck the vertical, and it shows all those butterflies where the distance between the long and short legs is at least 5 or 10. I can insert more here, but I can also remove these values. For example, if I only want from 5 strikes or 10 strikes, then I delete the 5 and remain the butterflies among the 10 strike ones. Now I can configure more options up here. For example, if the price should not exceed, say, $150 or even $100, then I move this slider down here and I only get those where the price column it's less than 100, or show those where the reward to risk, so the profit on risk, potential profit should be at least 1000%, then only 2 appear. I can also set how far the short delta should be, meaning how far the target price should be for the given butterfly. Additionally, the net delta value can also be adjusted for the given strategy. Now I'm resetting to the default settings, or at least I'm pulling the slider all the way apart, and so I get all the butterflies again. Now if I want to filter for distant target prices, let's say I have a target price of 6,150 in mind. Then at select target I choose 6150, and it will only show those butterflies that have this target price, for example with a strike distance of 5, 10, 15 or even 20. As for the columns, we can see how the strategy looks on the specific risk graph. Here the given strategy is the strikes. This option, so this is a call butterfly. The distance, the width, this is the distance between the short and long legs. In this case 20, 15, 10 and 15. The short delta of the given strategy, here in the case of 6150, each is 22, but if I take this out, then here we see all sorts of short deltas. The net delta of the strategy is the price, the maximum potential profit, the reward to risk ratio, meaning how much can be earned if I achieve the maximum profit, the probability of profit, and a link to the option strater, which allows for viewing the strategy's risk graph. Now if I click on any row, I can easily visualize the strategy's strikes using the TradingView chart. Here you can see that we've drawn a 6,150 level, which is 2 short calls, 1 long call, and another long call. This makes it easily visible visually. Where the strikes of a given strategy fall and the green rectangle shows. Meses, her şey, asosek, where the area is where my break-even point is. So where the section is where I am at least above 0, meaning the position is break-even. Here, if I click on any line, the given strikes appear dynamic on the TradingView chart. Well, that was the butterfly. Now let's look at verticals. Let's select the vertical. You can choose 5, 10, 15, 20, any kind of strike distance from the verticals. And there are 2 types of verticals in the system. One is the call vertical, which is a target price vertical. So it's a bull call spread in this case, because we are looking at bull strategies. For example, when I click on one of these, it's a vertical spread where the green dashed line is the long option leg and the red is the short option leg. And here you can see that the green rectangle, which is the section where my P&L is above 0, meaning I'm in the plus, runs upwards to infinity. Since in a bull call spread, this extends upwards indefinitely. This is a directional trade. If I'm looking for credit strategies, meanwhile, at the price, I see the green is the debit. The credit is red. For example, if I want to write out the 6100 level, then you can see here that my short put is at 6100 and my long put is at 6095. That's why I get $75. That's easy. This is my maximum profit. The distance between the strikes is $5. Here too, you can see which section is highlighted in a green rectangle where the strategy is profitable at expiration. So with the help of verticals, I can visualize and select bull call spreads and bull put spreads. Now I can refresh the chart automatically. This auto refresh button is active when the market is open, or I can refresh it manually. Now, when I am recording this video, the market is not open yet, but I can manually refresh the entire application. And with this, the options table and the TradingView chart also get refreshed. Now, if I like these settings, then I can name, update, and manage the different presets using the Save button here under Presets. You see, this was the bullish strategy. The bearish strategy looks very, very similar because there are vertical spreads and butterflies there as well. First, let's look at the butterflies, but the principle is basically the same. If I click on a butterfly, it shows the strikes on the right side on the TradingView chart. Here, the principle is the same. If I only want to see verticals, then I select the verticals. Here, of course, there are bear put spreads and bear call spreads. Based on the price, I can clearly see which is which, but also on the chart. Where there are green values, those are debit strategies. So in this case, the bear put spread, where it's red, that's the bear call spread, because those are credit strategies. For example, if I think the market won't go higher than 6,130, then if I write a 6130 to 6135 credit spread, I get 225 for it. And this is the section here where my break-even is, where I will be in minimum profit at expiration. Everything else works the same way as in bullish strategies regarding filters and the target strike as well. Now let's look at the neutral, where I can practically build strategies using iron condors. Here I can select this one strategy and the strike distance shows the distance between the long and the short. Here too, if you click on any of them, say a 6,100 to 6,150, then I see that this can bring me a maximum profit of 165 and my risk is $335. In the worst case, my risk reward is close to 50%. My probability of profit is 61%, and it nicely outlined for me the range in which I can profit with this strategy if the price expires within that range at expiration. If I'm interested in wider iron condors, then for the strike distance, let's say I set it to 10. And here you can see that the distance between the short and the long has increased here in the TradingView visualization, because the difference is not 5, but 10. In this case, obviously the risk reward changes, the probability of profit changes, and the potential profit changes as well. Now here too it can be set with the help of the short delta, how much out of the money the short leg should be. Let's say I'm interested in something with a short delta below 20. In this case, it immediately filters the table based on this and only shows those where the short delta is below 20. Here, you can see the values in the columns under short delta, the values of the legs, that is the delta values of the short legs. And in the short distance column, you can see the distance between the two short legs. If I click on this, we see here a $75 difference, since the two strikes in this iron condor are 60.80 and 61.55. Here too, if I want to reuse the setup, I can save it by pressing the save button with the help of preset. And here as well, if I click on any column, the visualization appears on the TradingView chart. In fact, above the TradingView, it shows what the given profitability is and the given POP or probability of profit in the given strategy. And if I move through these lines, this value dynamically changes here. And if the market is open, the SPX price also changes. Now, what other settings can be done here with the help of this dashboard? If I click on this settings button, I can hide and display different columns here. For example, if I want to display the BE1 and B1 and B2 columns, these show the break-even points for the strategy. Or if, for example, you have an active 3DR account, then you can display this 3DR column. And if I click on the icon here, then it automatically takes you to the 3DR interface and fills in the legs of the iron condor in the order ticket. But if you don't need any of the columns, let's say you're not interested in the probability of profit or the option strat link, you can hide these. You can set this in the options table on the left. On the right side, you can configure the metrics. By default, the primary metric is NetGEX. The secondary is option volume. But I can turn off the secondary or even switch it to open interest or even to NetGEX. Or if I press the button from the dizzer, I completely turned it off. By default, option volume is the second and the first is NetGEX, but I can freely change these values here. That's about all I wanted to say regarding the 0DTE dashboard. With this help, I believe you can very quickly and easily see the options in the search for 0-day SPX. If you have any questions about the usage, feel free to reach out. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye.